Every story hides a secret. Let's uncover it. This is the story of a woman whose husband fails to make her truly happy, leading her to begin an intimate relationship with a painter. How far the two of them go to be together is what we will uncover in today's video. Hello friends, today we're explaining a movie titled In Secret, released in 2003. The film opens with a man bringing his young daughter to his sister's home after the death of his wife. He hands his sister some money and promises, "I'll return soon and take my daughter back." His sister's name is Rickman, and she has a son named Camille, who is often sick. Because they had no extra room, Rickman made Teresa and Camille share the same one. Teresa constantly missed her father, hoping he would return to take her home. But he never did. Years passed, and she grew into a young woman who longed for affection. One day, on her way back home, she met Camille outside. She asked him for a kiss, but Camille didn't understand her intentions and simply kissed her on the cheek. She says that things were not the way they seemed. In reality, she used to visit there often. She would kiss the communist's lips, and only then would his mother show kindness toward her. She tells Teresa that their father is no more. A few days later, Camille gets a job in Paris, so the whole family decides to move there. But before shifting to Paris, his mother tells Teresa that she and Camille must get married, as there was no other option left. Even though Teresa didn't want to, she was forced into marrying Camille. After the wedding, they move to Paris, and Camille joins his new job. Teresa was completely unhappy in this marriage. She felt like she was trapped in a prison. Camille worked all day and returned late at night. She didn't like this life, and the weight of responsibilities felt too heavy for her. One night, when he came home, Teresa tried to get intimate with him, but Camille showed no interest at all. He had been sick since childhood. Later, he brings his friend Laurent home. Laurent worked with Camille at the office. Camille's mother also recognizes Laurent and is delighted to see how much he has grown. Laurent was an artist. While everyone was talking, Teresa kept staring at him. Teresa had completely fallen for him. Laurent also noticed the way Teresa kept looking at him. Whenever Laurent was painting, she would sit beside him, watching only him. One day, Camille suddenly gets called away for some work, leaving Teresa and Laurent alone in the room. As soon as Camille steps out, Laurent tells Teresa to take everything off. Teresa, already deeply attracted to him, does exactly that. While undressing, she whispers that they have very little time. The two give in to their desires, and after that day their secret affair continues. Whenever they found even a small opportunity, they would quickly be together, as if nothing else mattered. Teresa kept finding excuses to meet Laurent and satisfy her desires with him. She was so madly in love with him that one day she even asked, "Why didn't I meet you earlier?" Slowly, Camille began to suspect Teresa. One night, he tries to be intimate with her, but she feels nothing with him. A few days later, Camille tells Teresa that they are leaving for the village the next morning. Teresa immediately informs Laurent. Tearfully, she says she cannot live without him. Laurent then explains that there is only one way to remove Camille from their path. "We will kill him," he said. Hearing this, Teresa became terrified. Then he reassured her, saying, "We'll do it in such a way that it will look like an accident." That night, she couldn't sleep on her bed. She kept thinking whether this was the right thing to do. Laurent's obsession with her had grown so much that she was now willing to help kill her own husband. The next day, all three of them went to a park. While walking around, Camille got tired and fell asleep in Teresa's lap. When he woke up, they went boating together. Teresa was convinced that Laurent would kill Camille. She was still struggling with the guilt of her decision. Soon after, we see Laurent taking Teresa and Camille toward the river. Both Teresa and Laurent pretended to panic, acting as if the boat had sunk and Camille had drowned with it. Some people who recognized them were nearby and took Teresa and Laurent home. When Camille's mother heard what had happened, she broke down in tears. She had lost her only son. Meanwhile, search teams continued looking for Camille's body. Eventually, they found it and his funeral was performed. Camille's mother was certain that something terrible had happened to him, that his death was not just an accident. One night, Camille's mother became angry with Teresa. Her anger meant only one thing. "You were with Camille. How could you let him die?" She questioned her harshly, asking, "If the boat drowned, then how did you survive?" She was deeply hurt. It had been 8 months since Camille's death, yet she still could not forget him. But the very next moment, she apologized to Teresa and hugged her tightly. She had no idea that the very person she was embracing was the one responsible for Camille's death. That night, Teresa could not sleep. Terrifying nightmares kept haunting her. It was clear that somewhere inside, she carried guilt. On the other side, Laurent was living with the same fear. He too had been unable to sleep for months and was constantly terrified. Because of this fear, he asked Teresa if they should run away together. But Laurent reminded her, "Your entire life is here. Your shop, your home." Teresa replied that everything still legally belonged to Camille's mother. So Laurent suggested, "Pretend you miss Camille. Act like you want him back." Teresa agreed and acted as though she was longing for Camille. Camille's mother and her friend overheard this, and they convinced her that it was time for Teresa to get married again. They believed that once Teresa got married, she would eventually forget her pain. They also said that Laurent would be the right partner for her. Teresa agrees to what they suggest, and she tells all this to Laurent as well. Soon, Teresa and Laurent get married. On their wedding night, Laurent tells her, "This is the night we have been waiting for." He finally had what he always desired. But Teresa was not happy at all. Regret began to fill her heart. She realized she had killed her own husband, Camille, just to satisfy her desires. She could no longer bear the sight of Camille's mother's grief. She asks Laurent, "How did Camille die? Did he suffer?" Laurent replies, "You were there too." Teresa quietly says, "I closed my eyes." Then Laurent tells her, "I gently pushed him into the water." But Teresa felt as if Camille had died in terrible agony. She starts arguing with Laurent, saying, "You shouldn't have killed him." After Camille's death, their lives became a living hell. Teresa couldn't even stand the sight of Laurent anymore. Days passed in misery. Camille's mother still couldn't move on or forget her son. One day, while sitting in a park, Camille's mother suddenly suffered an attack and became paralyzed. She is unable to speak, which is why Laurent has to take care of Camille's mother. But Laurent had hidden intentions. He wanted to kill her and steal her property. Teresa was trying to protect his mother. One day, while she was bathing her, Laurent suddenly arrives. A fight breaks out between them, and both start blaming each other for Camille's death. Camille's mother overhears their conversation, and the shock almost kills her. She tries to tell her friends the truth, but she cannot speak. With great difficulty, she drags herself to the floor and writes that Laurent did not kill Camille. One of her friends sees this and wants to inform everyone else. When Laurent and Teresa find out that the truth might come out, they panic and decide to kill Camille's mother. They take her to a riverside, pretending they are all going for a picnic. They plan to poison her drink, but at the last moment, both of them lose control of their minds and decide to commit suicide instead. They drink the poison themselves. Meanwhile, Camille's mother's friends arrive and manage to save her. After killing Camille, both Laurent and Teresa had lost all peace in life. How could they ever live happily after taking someone's life? And that's the story. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more thrilling twists and surprises.